78 grade. He hasn't been beaten far. He's been doing his best through the line. He drops right back in grade today to a set weights class 3. He gets to the mile third up. And on his best form, he wins this race. So I'll gamble on him today.
Matthew Dunn has the 2 in Eaglemont. James Ormond?
Yeah, much better run in reality than it looks on paper last start. He's run 11th of 11, but he was hard in the market. He ran into all sorts of bother midway down the straight, and he should have finished a lot closer to them. In saying all of that, he doesn't do himself any favours due to his racing style, and from that draw today, he probably has to get a long way back, but he looks terrific.
Gary Satek has the 4 Step on Fire. Matthew McGilvray rides.
He'll go around at any old odds. He's been getting beaten in much easier races.
Robert Heathcote has the 6 in Seefeld. Boris Thornton does the riding. We've got the near side Bubble Cheeker going on for the first time. Laid out bad last start.
Yeah, he did lay out, so hopefully that Bubble Cheeker straightens him up. That was a Class 3 set weights race. He was only beaten 2 lengths, so he's staying in that sort of grade, although stepping from the midweeks to Saturday level, and I'm just not quite sure he's up to this yet.
Okay, I'm trying to get a good look at Aqua Alta, the 7. Sammy Collett for Rex Lip.
Yeah, there she is. She's parading really well. She's always been on the light side.
Yeah, she's a petite filly, isn't she?
She is, but she's looking great in the coat. Obviously, last preparation, she didn't hit the heights that we're all expecting, but her first up run this preparation said, yes, I'm back. She ran 4th behind Sailor's Secret, and she had to do a bit of work in the run, and she never shirked her task finding the line. I think you've got to put her in the top 3 or 4.
Ella Tiama is the 8. Andrew Mellion rides for Chris Lees.
Yeah, she's an interesting runner. Obviously, last preparation, I think she won 3rd up and then went straight into a group race. So the stable have a good opinion of her. She's shining in the coat. She's had the 2 runs back down in Sydney in benchmark 78 grade. So she's another one that'll find this so much easier at Class 3 set weights.
Kinetic braids well, the 9. Ryan Maloney for Tony Gollan.
Yeah, she does parade well. She won 3 starts back in a benchmark 68 at Eagle Farm. Since then, she's been safely held in 2 benchmark 78s. And you'd have to think the Sydney form might be a bit stronger than that Brisbane form, but look, she might be able to offset that by going forward perhaps, and she's looking well, so maybe a top 5 chance.
The Heathcote stable also have the 10, Oh Misbehaving, Misconsistent, Ben Thompson.
She is Oh Misconsistent, isn't she? She's really holding it together this prep. A winner 2 back and then a brave second behind Highly Ambitious in that midweek Class 3 last time out. First go at the mile today, but you and I both seem to think she'll run it, so you'd have to put her in somewhere.
Billy Healey has an interesting runner here. This is the 11. Hector De Maris has its first start for the new stable. The crossover goes on, for the first time. Justin Huxtable booked to ride.
Yes, hasn't won in about 3 years. Best form in Melbourne was over longer journeys, but his rating puts himself actually beautifully placed in a set weights Class 3. So even though on recent form you'd say no, if he can run to his rating, and that is run to his rating at a mile fresh, you could throw him into the numbers, but I think Market will probably give us the best guide with him.
Okay, over the mile now for race number 2, and some specking for Akihiro back in a turn now to $8.50. They've specced a couple actually, Joycey, and the favourite just drifts a touch now, $3.30 from $3.20 on the official price.
Thank you very much, Kian. My late mail is going to be 1, 7, 10 and 8. I'll go with Akihiro, as you said, just specced in a little bit late from the double figures in, which is always encouraging because on form I can make a really good case for him. You've just got to be a little bit forgiving for the fact that he's finished down the track at his 2 runs back down in Sydney, but he just hasn't been beaten far. And they probably haven't been suitable races being 1,400 metres. And this is so much easier, and he's back to a set weights race. So I've talked myself into him at around the $8.50 mark. He has had 4 of his career starts in group company as well. So he won't know himself here in a set weights Class 3. Number 7, Aqua Alta. She can improve second up today. The 10, No Misbehaving. She's fit. She's racing well. And the 8, Ella Tiama, the favourite. No knock at all. Also coming through Sydney benchmark 78 form. And she tackles this race third up. So 1, 7, 10 and 8 for myself.
I was 8, 2, 7 and 10, thanks, Paul. But with the favourite here, there's a bit of a sense of timing to come here for this race. She won third up last prep, and that was over the mile as well. And then she went to a Group 3. The stable was so happy with her. So second up, the winner behind Attractable. She was a little bit flatter. It wasn't a sort of back me next start run, but the form lines out of it are nice and strong and Attractable since won again. And I like the form behind Banana Queen, sort of an up-and-coming staying mare. So I've left her on top. Over the 2 in Eaglemont, my only sort of knock was maybe he's looking for that little bit further. But to be fair, he doesn't look like he's got the screws fully wound down either, so the mile just might be perfect now. The 7 in Aqua Alta, she can be your improver. She's a classy mare who just hasn't shown us what she can do of late or last preparation, but this could be her prep. And then the 10 in Oh Misbehaving, hard to leave her out, super consistent, and gets a home game, 8, 2, 7, 2, 10.
Thanks for that, Kian. Look, we might throw back to Don quickly. I just saw a jockey walking along in the pink and black check silks. I'm not sure what's going on there, but Don, give us a quick market update if you can, and we'll try and find out what's happening with Seefeld.
Sure can, Joycey. Half the money with us at Tab on the one runner in the favourite here, Ella Tiama, $4.20 this morning, now into $3, shortest price it's been with us. Now, I can tell you, we've actually taken more money for Oh Misbehaving, who's on the third line of betting, than we have for Eaglemont. Eaglemont's on the second line, a big mover, $5 into $3.80. So clearly the Tab have respected where that money's come from. Oh Misbehaving is a little easy here late, $5 out to $5.50. Kinetic is $7 into $6, back out to $7 late. And you mentioned the firm here for Akihiro. $10 it was just moments ago, now gets into $8. Best backed here, Ella Tiama, and why not take advantage of the Tab promo at Doomben this afternoon? Races 1 to 6, place a fixed odds win bet, and if your horse runs second or third, get yourself a bonus bet back up to $50. But first, have a think what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, 1-800-858-858. Here's Josh, race 2, Doomben.
And the OTI team and Matt Dunn, Eaglemont has been one of the best backs here going in. Red light on. Race number 2, gate 4, the favourite, Aya Tiyama. Aqua Alta and a Kinetic on the toe in gate 3. Now we're right racing. Missing the start there was Kinetic, and going back as well was Eaglemont. Step on Fire, the rank outsider, jumped in front, but rolling forward as Aqua Alta. Likewise, Oh Misbehaving. Fourth is Hector De Maris, and fifth the outside, the race favourite, Aya Tiyama. Further back to Kinetic, who's third last. Akihiro's gone back to second last, and Eaglemont is at the rear. So Step on Fire, Aqua Alta, the first couple by length and a quarter. Keen third is Hector De Maris, and fourth is Oh Misbehaving, Aya Tiyama. Kinetic on the fence, and further back to Akihiro, and Eaglemont's at the rear. So Step on Fire, 1,000 metres left to run by 3/4 here. Second's Aqua Alta, and third is Hector De Maris, and fourth the outside is Oh Misbehaving. A length and a half to Kinetic, and next time from the outside there as they swing down the side, the race favourite, Aya Tiyama. Further back to Akihiro and Eaglemont. As they swing down the side, we've got about 700 metres left to run. It's Step on Fire in front narrowly. Second's Aqua Alta. 2 lengths away, third is Hector De Maris, and fourth the outside is Oh Misbehaving. A length and a half to Aya Tiyama, fifth about 3 or 4 lengths off the leader. The inside Kinetic, Eaglemont getting away from the fence and coming 3 wide, and Akihiro 4 wide now. At the 350 metre marker, taking over as Aqua Alta. The inside Step on Fire, running home as Oh Misbehaving. Coming through as Hector De Maris, but under some pressure. Running home well as Aya Tiyama. Here's Eaglemont down the outside as well. Aqua Alta just in front from Hector De Maris, Oh Misbehaving. Down the outside is Eaglemont, finishing strongly. Big finish here coming through Hector De Maris, though. Hector De Maris has won from Eaglemont, Aqua Alta, and close up was Aya Tiyama and Oh Misbehaving, followed then by Kinetic, Akihiro, and the last one was Step on Fire.
The 11s caused the upset. Hector De Maris, first start for Billy Healey, formerly with Danny O'Brien down in Melbourne. Last start was over 2,500 metres on the 20th of May, has come back to the mile. Justin Huxtable has saved some ground, got the split. And as you could see there, a bunched finish. It was a set weights class 3. And on the weights, you could make a case for this horse. It was just hard to do it on form. But the crossover's gone on. Billy Healey's got him ready first up, and he's just prevailed over the 2 Eaglemont, which came from last. Jimmy Ullman revved him up before the turn. They were walking up front, so it was probably a big effort to run second under the weight, given the way that race was run. But as you can see, there's a blanket of them there for third, fourth, and fifth as well. The 7 Aqua Alta looks to have grabbed third. She had a picnic outside the 100 to 1 pop on speed. She definitely had her chance today. And it looks like number 8, Ella Tiama, will wind up about a half length back into fourth. So it was a busy finish, slowly run race. You can see there Justin Huxtable got off the fence when he needed to on Hector De Maris, and that's a good start to his Queensland career. 1 start, 1 win, and he's now, he's only his 2nd win, so he could come back to another one of these Class 3 or Class 2 set weights races if they could find the right one. So they might have a bit of fun with him up here, and you'd like to think he's only going to improve as he gets out in trip. Please note, by the way, number 6, Seefeld, was a late scratching there behind the gate. So number 6, Seefeld, if he was your bet or if he was in your multis, you'll get a refund on him. We haven't found out exactly what happened there. He was scratched right at the death, number 6, Seefeld. All right, Kian, you've managed to track down Billy Healey. Not a bad result. First start for the stable. They bag a win.
A great result having its first start in a Saturday race as well. And Billy's probably only going to get better when he tackles more ground again. But how did this guy come into your care?
Through a really good ownership group, I had a lot of success with them up here. Darren Frey and Troy Horrick from Melbourne. They've been really good supporters of the stable, and he came up here. Yeah, look, I'm not sure about further with him just yet. He still wants to get keen and overdo things. I sort of just completely changed the way we train him, just sort of at the beach, out of the farm. He hardly sees a track, so it seems to have worked. We'll just sort of keep on picking off these low-grade races for him and just go through the grades a bit, but it's good to get a win for them first up in town with him.
Yeah, it certainly is, and plenty of others had their chance, so it was a great win. I was going to ask you what you did with that time with him, because he had to come back from 2,500 to the mile and still be that little bit sharp.
Yeah, he's galloped twice since Melbourne. He's come up here. He's just done a lot of long beach work, a lot of work out at the farm. So we were lucky to have that environment to just change things up with him. He's an old imported horse, so he obviously likes the change, and it's worked well.
Well done.
Thanks.
All right, Billy Healey there takes out race number 2, 11, 2, 7 and 8 as we head to Newcastle. Thanks, Tommy.